Ahoy there, pirates! Marky, or Kerfuffle Hustle, here from Rare Thief. We hope you've been pacing yourselves because we are only halfway through this party. The Festival of the Damned continues into its third week with yet another challenge, Fate of the Roaring Skies. Like the previous challenges, the Fate of the Roaring Skies includes 6 goals. Completing these goals will unlock another Soulflame cosmetic for your collection, only leaving the Supreme Fated Slayer title to unlock. That is, of course, unless you're a pirate legend. If you're a pirate legend, you'll also be working toward unlocking that Soulflame crew set. As you might have guessed, the Fate of the Roaring Skies beckons pirates into the Devil's Roar. You'll be slaying shadows of fate, lighting beacons, lighting yourself on fire, and battling enemy crews. In this guide, we will go over each goal and how to achieve it in the order they appear in the Events tab. Of course, there might be a more efficient order to actually complete these goals. For example, you'll likely first want to acquire the red and pink flames of fate and save them for later. You can do this by assigning these flames to any of your ship's lanterns. These flames will be used multiple times while trying to complete your goals, so they will be helpful to have on hand. Alright, on to your first goal. The first goal for the Fate of the Roaring Skies is called the Heat of Battle. To complete this goal, you or your crew must set 5 skeletons on fire. Thanks to all the wonderful tools in the Sea of Thieves, there are several ways to do this. One option would be to use the Ashen Wind's Skull. To acquire this handheld flamethrower, sail to a fiery tornado and defeat the Ashen Lord below. Pull your trigger to open the Ashen Wind's skull, unleashing its fiery breath on any nearby skeletons. A much simpler option that doesn't require you taking down an Ashen Lord is to use firebombs. Firebombs are throwable fire grenades that can be found in resource barrels across the Sea of Thieves. Though if you don't feel like resource hunting, no worries, your ship comes stocked with several firebombs. Once you find your skeletal victim, open your item radial, select throwables, and then select your firebombs. To conserve your firebombs, it would probably be efficient to get a group of skeletons together and throw a firebomb into the middle of said group. If you don't have an Ashen Wind Skull or any firebombs, we still have a fun little trick for you. Play a fiery game of tag. Okay, but again, without a skull or firebombs, how do you light yourself on fire? Well, you might find yourself ablaze for many other reasons, like a non-fatal gunpowder blast or lightning. However, those are rather damaging and you might not have a keg or lightning nearby. So, the easiest way to light yourself on fire is with a plank of wood and either a gun or your lantern. Step 1. Place your plank in a campfire. Step 2. Shoot that plank, or hold up your lantern to ignite your campfire. Step 3. Take a deep breath and walk on in. Now that you're on fire, run around tagging as many skeletons as you can. Now that you have your means for setting skeletons ablaze, it's time to find some. Skeletons can be found on almost any island in the Sea of Thieves that isn't an outpost. You can set any kind of skeleton on fire and it will count toward this goal. They can be random skeletons wandering the islands, skeletons sailing aboard a skeleton ship, skeletons spawning with an Order of Souls voyage, Shadows of Fate skeletons at the Fort of the Damned, or even ambient skeleton captains and Ashen Keymasters. If you're looking for bunches of skeletons, you can always hit up an active skeleton fort. No matter where you find the skeletons or what kind they are, each skeleton you set on fire will count towards this goal. Besting those skeletons should have you warmed up and ready for your next goal, only trying to help. For this goal, you must use your helpful hand to slay a pirate from another crew. How is this helpful? Well, this death will allow said pirate to collect the pink flame of fate on the Ferry of the Damned. You and your crew are not the only pirates sailing the Sea of Thieves. In adventure mode, find another crew, cut down any one of their crew members, and do not allow them to be revived. Note, killing an enemy crew member in arena mode will not count, as they will not make their way to the Ferry of the Damned upon their death. If you are having difficulty finding another crew, you could try a few things. You could try raising a Reaper's Emissary flag. You could try raising a regular Reaper's flag from your flag box. Or you could try keeping a Reaper's chest on your ship. This way, your ship will then appear on map tables throughout the seas and hopefully draw other pirates in. If you see that there are other emissaries sailing the seas, you could also become a Grade 5 Reaper's Emissary. At Grade 5, you'll be able to see all other emissary crews on your map. If you haven't the slightest clue what I'm prattling on about, don't worry. We'll link our emissary video below. On to the next goal, a Fateful Encounter. For this goal, you and your crew must destroy 10 red or pink shadows of fate. Where can you find such skellies? Well, your good friend Lorena has a new Fate of the Damned voyage in which they're bound to pop up. This new voyage is called In Pursuit of Prowling Devilish Shadows of Fate. In it, you will come across both red and pink Shadows of Fate skeletons. Plus, the voyage is free, so you can easily complete it over and over again. If you're up for the challenge, you could also always activate the Fort of the Damned. Raiding the Fort of the Damned will offer plenty of opportunities to kill the Shadows of Fate you seek. Whether you go for the quieter voyage or take on the Fort of the Damned, killing pink or red Shadows of Fate from either will help you complete this goal. Alright, it's time to light some beacons. For this goal, Roaring Flames, you or your crew must light 3 beacons found in the Devil's Roar with a red or pink flame. Starting in the north, you'll want to head to Fetcher's Rest. The beacon on this island can be found on the hill to the north of the island. Park your ship on the northwest side and head east up the hill. At the top of the hill, you will find the beacon on top of a wooden platform just waiting to be lit. Light the beacon with a pink or red flame and you will be a third of the way through your goal. Make sure you use a pink or red flame though. Using any other color or your default flame will not count. Sailing a bit further south, you'll find your next beacon on Ruby's Fall. This beacon is set up near the bridge found in the middle of the island. Parking on the north side of the island will protect you from the cannons found on both the west and east side of the island. So from that north beach, walk up the hill south toward the middle of the island. You'll find the beacon just past the small camp. Light it up with a pink or red flame and you'll have just one more beacon to go. Just to be clear, anyone in your crew can light the beacon and it will count for the whole crew. It might also be helpful to note that you don't need to light all 3 beacons in one session at sea. You can light 1 beacon in one session, leave the Sea of Thieves, and light another the next time you set sail. Each time you light a beacon, you'll be one step closer to your goal. Speaking of which, the final beacon for this region is on the Devil's Thirst. The beacon here is up on a peak, which can be accessed from the bottom of the hill on the south side of the island. Once again, parking on the north side of the island will protect you from any cannon fire that comes from the sides of the island. Once you've made it up the hill, you'll find the beacon next to the camp. If there's already a flame in any of the beacons, don't worry. If it's a different color than the flame in your lantern, you can still set the beacon with your lantern anyway. If the beacon is the same color as the color you have in your lantern, simply put out the beacon's flame with a bucket of water, and you're clear to light it again with your lantern's flame. Well, there you are. You've done it. All the beacons in the Devil's Roar should now be lit and your goal complete. Time to spice things up with this next goal, From the Ashes. This goal requires you to collect both the red and pink flame. Importantly, you must collect your flames from the Well of Fates on the Ferry of the Damned. Collecting the red or pink flame by any other means will not count toward this challenge. It is also important that you collect the flames yourself. You will not earn any progress toward this goal simply because one of your crew members collects the flame. To get the red flame of fate, you must die by fire. Before firebombs, this meant you had to sail over to the Devil's Roar and hope to be set on fire from falling volcanic rock. Nowadays, it is much easier to collect the red flame of fate, including that campfire trick. But the easiest way is obviously to simply grab a firebomb from your ship's cannonball resource barrel. Firebombs by themselves will only damage a third of your full health bar though, so you'll want to inflict some damage on yourself before throwing the firebomb at your feet. Fall off the crow's nest ladder a few times until your health bar is about 30% full. Then look down at your feet, equip a firebomb from your throwables in your item's radial, and throw it at the ground. You will light on fire and hopefully quickly succumb to the flames. To get the pink flame of fate, you must die at the hand of an enemy pirate. I know. Swallow your pride. Sail around the Sea of Thieves looking for other crews. Once you find another crew, you'll want one of the crew members to kill you so you can be sent to the Ferry of the Damned. Make sure no one revives you, as this will prevent you from getting to the ferry. Once you're on the Ferry of the Damned, approach the Well of Fates and take your pink flame of fate. If you're struggling to find another crew, you might try the same tips we mentioned earlier. You can attract some combative pirates by sailing around with a Reaper's chest, raising the Reaper's flag in your flag box, or raising a Reaper's emissary flag. Alternatively, you can reach grade 5 as a Reaper's emissary and check your map for other emissary ships. You might also keep an eye out for an active Fort of the Damned. If the fort has been activated, there's bound to be pirates nearby. You could also start the Fort of the Damned yourself and cut down a few skellies while you wait for that cloud to lure in other pirates. Rest assured, you're never alone in these waters. If there are too few ships sailing, it won't be long until you're submerged into livelier seas. Okay, pirates, time for the last goal, Inferno's Light. To complete this goal, you must have all of your ship's lanterns lit with a mix of red and pink flames of fate. It doesn't matter how evenly they're spread across your ship. You can have all red and one pink, or all pink and one red, and either way the challenge will complete. It does not matter how you collect these red and pink flames either. You could collect them from another ship, from the Well of Fates, or from Lorena's newest Fate of the Damned voyage in pursuit of prowling devilish shadows of fate. But here's a little tip. You might check the Fort of the Damned. Of course, if someone has activated the fort, you can sneak on up to the top and take the flames you need. However, you might check the Fort of the Damned even if it's inactive. Sometimes you can get lucky and wander into a tower already aglow in colorful hues. You've now completed the Festival of the Damned challenge for Week 3, Fate of the Roaring Skies. If you did all of the goals from the first 2 challenges as well, then 4 of the Soulflame weapon cosmetics should now be unlocked. Don't forget to continue working on the Slayer of Fate, which requires you to kill hundreds of Shadows of Fate. You have 2 more weeks to complete that challenge, so if you're falling behind, you might want to take on the Fort of the Damned. It's a great way to quickly slay all those shadowy scoundrels. Next week will be our 4th and final week celebrating the Festival of the Damned. So, we will have one more challenge guide to cap off the festivities. In the meantime, enjoy sailing the roiling waters of the Devil's Roar, that ticklish sensation when a geyser sends you soaring, and meeting pirates who are all too happy to fall to your sword. Happy sails!